another episode of Beautiful Subconscious. Today, I am thrilled to have Dr. Andrina, also known as Andy, joining us today. Andy is a powerhouse holistic business mentor.
Hello.
Here she is. I'm going to give you a little intro.
Frozen.
Yeah, I feel like you deserve the biggest intro because you blow my mind in so many ways, because people need to know you're a holistic business mentor, integrative chiropractor, a kundalini yoga teacher, which I had no idea about, and a mama of 3. You are a founder of a 7-figure wellness center, Open Space Healing, and co-host of the Wealthy Wellness Business podcast. So I'm so stoked to hear about your journey and the insights that you can provide on building a successful business without burning out. Welcome, my love.
Thank you so much, Shell, for having me. Yeah, really excited for our chat today.
Me too. I love seeing we had Dr. J last week, and just seeing both of you together collectively, what you continue to expand into. It blows my mind, and I love watching your journey, and I love chatting to you today, especially from mum to mum, because that is just such a massive key to balancing out, business and life and how you want to show up, and without doing it without, burning out. So I'd love to touch base with that today. But before we get into it, as always, we're going to pull a card. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move some around, and when you feel inclined to tell me to stop, that's the card that you've pulled for today.
I love this. Okay. Yep, stop.
Beautiful. All right. Ooh, I no longer shrink myself and I rise to my occasion.
Love that so much.
I love that. I love that so much.
So relevant.
Oh, my goodness.
As I'm sure.
How do you find that that's relevant for you?
Just some triggers, some patterns, especially in my primary relationship that have been coming up. It's the currently the eclipse season. Mm-hmm. And these next iterations of up-leveling. So having to affirm boundaries and looking at where I have been sacrificing my boundaries. And it's a really insidious process, isn't it? So it's not like you consciously choose, I'm going to keep myself small here, or, betray myself. You don't think that. But
that's not your conscious process, right? No, it's not.
But it just happens over time.
It catches up, doesn't it? It really does. And and I think especially in the line of work that we're in, we can quite easily be like, damn it, again, and come down like we should be a little bit more knowledgeable than that. But it's just the more expanded we become and more conscious we become, the more complex our ways of tricking ourselves to protect ourselves can be also. So I think there's moments of compassion in that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to chat with you. So let's dive right on in. So like we said, you're a mum of 3 and you run a 7-figure business. So can you please give me the lowdown on how you manage it all? I love touching on this.
Yeah. So, okay, prefacing as well that the business is 12 years old. Okay, so when I think of business, I think of the business entity like a child, right? So Open Space Healing, I feel like, is a young adult. And so I've grown, and my capacity has grown over that period of time. And I didn't do everything all at once. And as it just so happened, when I started Open Space, I fell pregnant with my first child within the same year. So my business and my mothering journey kind of started hand in hand, and she was planned as well. And I've got a few notes. I've got a few notes here because I really want to give your listeners some tangible action steps and all the goodness.
Yes, please.
How do I do it? Okay. So, just just to give a little bit of context. So yes, I'm an integrative chiropractor, kundalini yoga teacher. And when I started Open Space, there's been about 2 times where I've actually got to the point of thinking, okay, that's enough. And, thinking of shutting the business down. One was when I first started, because these growth periods. However, my original business partners tried to exit me out of the business, extremely stressful. And then the second time was when there was a major expansion into the business and I had senior doctors leave, massive reduction in revenue and massive increase in expenses because we moved into a purpose-built, 130 square meter space. However, I feel like and also some other challenges, heartache, Shell, some of these things because I've obviously come to you for kinesiology as well. Betrayal. We have a big team. And so obviously when it comes with people and, managing teams, that can be extremely heartbreaking as well, especially when you're so passionate about what you do. We've survived massive theft as well within the company. So, yeah, look, I could write a Netflix special, I think, about all the different
And I actually I would love to watch it, to be fair. Watching you ladies just navigate it all individually as well as, collectively and in your own personal lives as well, I think it would be phenomenal. But when you said when the first time that you wanted to shut down your business and you said it was at the start of the business, can you give some insight as to how far along you were? Was that, say, in the first 12 months? Was that in the first few years? Where was that?
So we opened Open Space in May, May 2012. And then that was, I just come back from Europe. So it would have been around July, September. So only a few months into the business. Yeah. And so that was a massive learning on how business partnerships can go wrong and what is necessary to have a really thriving business partnership, which Jacinta, who you interviewed last, and she was on the podcast last week, how we have been able to sustainably have a thriving business partnership. And we've been in partnership now for 4, 5, 6, about 6 or so years and, gone through a lot of challenges in the business together. So you can listen to our business partnership journey and, how we make that really successful on our podcast on Wealthy Wellness Business. Yeah, so I
would love to. Yeah, I would love to hear that. That would be. We definitely need to plug in what episode or which ones, because I think that's also a really important thing, is just how to evolve a conscious business partnership and have that as the baseline to the thriving business. That's an alignment to your values and what you both believe in together, and what's your individual values too, which I'm sure that they cross over, and I'm sure that they are very in alignment, but we are 2 separate entities coming together and building something very original and very unique in itself. And it's just blending all of that is such an art form in a way, and in a conscious effort each and every time.
Absolutely. And we delve into it deeper, and I'll give you the links to those episodes. It's all about that inner work. So knowing yourself, and then conscious communication, and having a deep, a belief system, and values as well of, what's good for one is good for the other. And, we're a team and we're not in competition, and, we're working together. So, I could be talking about a romantic relationship here.
Absolutely. I was thinking that in my head. I was like, that is such a template for any other relationship, right?
And yeah, we joke, we call each other our business wife, we're wives. So literally in my phone, I could show you, I've got my 2 favorites, my wife and my husband.
Yeah, I can see that. It's all 3 of you on your wallpaper just together.
Yeah, and the kids, she's auntie to my children as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love
So
that. So I would, yeah. So navigating it all, navigating the business partnerships and that relationship and navigating your, your marriage as well as your family in and amongst a child entity, which is your business, so to speak, as well, growing alongside of that. There is a lot of things that you are needing to share yourself with, and how do you do that with such a conscious, what tips and tricks have you learned along the way that have really helped to navigate through those spaces?
I love that question. And really, like, it comes down to knowing yourself intimately and, doing that inner work and falling in love with yourself and putting yourself as the top priority. So as I'm sure many of your listeners are already familiar with doing the work, the mindset work, and it's a constant journey. There's constant layers that come up. So the shadow work, the inner child work, the ancestral healing, and really prioritizing yourself and loving yourself. So for example, if I am needing something, then I will give that to myself. And that might look like, on a Saturday morning, instead of taking the kids to swimming lessons, I'll get a family member to, or hubby to by himself, and I'll go to breath work, or, I'll go to some type of event. Like, I love learning, and that's really nourishing for me. Every day I'm utilizing my tools. So whether that is a kundalini yoga meditation or journaling, nature, and treating my mind and my body like a temple. What I eat, getting into the minutiae of hydration, the staying hydrated, getting sun, eating whole foods, like all of these things, like we know, however, they have an incremental compound effect to your mindset and your vibration and your health.
Yes.
And so by, making yourself a priority, loving on yourself hard, showing your children how they, can love themselves, because, right, they're just going to model what you show them, right? So not thinking about, it being selfish because you're their teacher. So you are, you're a way shower, you're a role model for them. So teaching themselves how to look after themselves. And, when you amplify all of those things together, the self-love, the inner work, because we're in this physical meat suit as well as human beings. So looking after your physical temple, your physical body, then you can stay in a higher vibration and alignment, so that you can move through challenges with ease. And, as I just previously mentioned, we've been through some massive challenges. So I know that we're talking very big picture and esoteric. However, this helps with the ground, the foundational level of, revenue and, letting people go, and, hiring challenges, and, managing teams, all of that very 3D physical things that we need to master to be in this world. Those more esoteric things, and the mindset is absolutely key. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you touched on so many great things in terms of, firstly, modeling to your kids exactly what self-care looks like and being unapologetic about that. And again, it can just feel like words when we hear it, and it depends on the timing of when you hear, say, even this podcast, or when you hear it, you can say things in your head like, oh, yeah, that's easy enough, but just how am I going to do that in this space? But I think what you've really kind of really beautifully expressed is that they have to be non-negotiables. You have to be able to give yourself that kindness that you're able to give your parents or your whoever it is that you want to help bring your kids to swimming lessons so you can have that time. And that's okay. It's rewriting what the narrative is in and around that so that you can be in a non-reactive state or your closest, more neutral, most harmonious state of ease and balance to then be able to support the decisions that you need to make on a very practical sense in running a successful business. It's coming from a place of, more, groundedness, more awareness, more consciousness, more openness, more of a greater peripheral view of what's going on because you've dedicated that time and space. So it's actually imperative. And I think, it's just changing or really clearing out that interference that people sometimes hear that, but they don't really follow through with the self-care or prioritizing themselves. It's just that is if there's that fuzz of just I get it, but I'm not quite doing it. Whatever that is, it's you got to clean that up so you can actually do it. So you actually embody it. So you actually implement those things that are right so they can support, the work and the lifestyle that you want to create and the legacy you want to leave. Right. So I just, hearing that, I'm just yes, from mum to mum, from business owner to business owner, it's so imperative, but I know it can take a sideline and a backseat so often.
Yeah. And 110% agree. And it's a constant evolution as well, because, even now, as I mentioned, I'm finding areas where I am, out of alignment and my boundaries I've allowed my boundaries to be crossed. And so then it's okay, well, what needs to happen for these boundaries to, be retained? So, not beating yourself up if you don't have it all figured out yet. Nobody does. And, every minute, every day, is a new opportunity to, give yourself what you need. There's a reason, right, that all of the airlines have the, put your oxygen mask on first before your child, right? Yeah. Because how are you supposed to look after them and to help them unless, you're well first?
Hello, lovely listeners. Our Total Life Transformation Program is live. If you feel stuck in your health, career, relationships, or money, this is the chance for a complete revamp. Over 6 months, you'll experience powerful changes that will transform every part of your life. With the guidance of 5 specialists, so yours truly, a kinesiologist, money mentor, functional health practitioner, career advisor, and our relationship coach, we address 4 key life pillars: your health, your career, your money, and your relationships. One investment shifts you from feeling low-key unfulfilled to fully energized and inspired in every area of your life. Health. If stress, emotional baggage, or unhealthy habits drain you, we will help release what's in your subconscious and create a personalized nutrition and supplement plan to reset your energy and health. Career. If you feel lost or stuck in your career, our kinesiologist and career mentor provide clarity, confidence, and an action plan to move forward with purpose. Money. If scarcity or fear around money keeps you stuck, we heal your financial blueprint. With our money mentor, you will gain practical strategies to confidently manage your finances for life. And relationships, if disconnection in your relationships leave you feeling unseen, we heal emotional wounds, leading to deeper connection, trust, and love. Now it's time to create your extraordinary life. So book your clarity call now for our Total Life Transformation Program, because it is live and waiting for you.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. And I know that I don't know anyone who wants to be an angry, bitter person, right? And if you are constantly being the martyr and sacrificing and giving all of yourself over, eventually you're going to run dry and you're going to, get to that really bitter state. And then guess who's going to, not benefit from this? It's going to be your children and the people around you. So doing these things like retreats and little things throughout your day, getting up earlier to meditate. For me as well, I've identified the morning routine and school drop off. That is my death zone. So I book a week in advance my Pilates classes, 7 a.m. So I wake up, I'm with the baby because I've got at the moment 11 and 9 and a almost 3-year-old. And so baby first, and then Pilates. So I'm at Pilates or at the gym, and I'm giving myself the time and space, that I need, sometimes on the treadmill with, a podcast or, some type of, brain food in my ears. And I do that, and I allow hubby to step up and to do the breakfast and, do the lunches and things like that, so that I can come home and be the best mother and, in the highest vibration, for my children and for my family and for my business. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And you can even hear in your languaging of just earlier before when you were expressing that, we don't always have it all figured out all the time, and things are always moving and changing and evolving, and we're just rolling with that. And when you expressed that there were boundaries that had been crossed, and you allowed in what you said, you allowed the boundaries to be crossed, there is such ownership and accountability, but also compassion and a taking your power back and being like, okay, cool, I've seen a pattern where something is played out, boundaries have been crossed. I know from the tools that I have built over the years and over my journey that this is now in my awareness, I know what I can do to bring them back into a more aligned state. So it's just these tools work in so many ways, and a macro level, a micro level, everyday, bigger things, smaller things. So it's all these things, these practices that are just always contributing one way or another. They're just in the tool belt, ready to be utilized in any scale for you. And even just allowing hubby to step up, there's in your languaging this sense of consciousness in how you're choosing and intentional ways of how you're choosing to show up as a mother, as a wife, as someone, a lover of self, and a businesswoman, a business owner, a CEO. So I think we're so lucky to be in a conscious world where that can be now, we're bridging, exempling that this to be the norm, and bringing in this blend of consciousness and spirituality into, running a business, running a family, and blending the both.
Yeah. Radical responsibility, self-responsibility, right? If you're not happy with something, if you're pointing a finger at someone, there's 2 fingers pointing back at you, right? Which can be a really, really painful pill to swallow.
I know, still to this day.
Oh my God. I've learned over the years, and this is, my 40th year on earth. Yeah, it is so true. It is so true. Oh, yeah. And one of those things that when you were saying how I allowed hubby to, take rise to the occasion, that's been one of the most pivotal things that I think is necessary to have a successful business and be a mother as well. It's to surrender control. So surrender control, let go, and to ask for help and to allow.
Oh, boom. You said it. I felt that to my, I've got tingles everywhere because it is true, allowing the support. And I think for women who are so driven and so in the know of what they want to achieve, they can often take all the reins and, tunnel vision in and put it all on their own shoulders and try to do it all themselves, where really there's so much power in, letting your partner or someone else support you on some level and having that balance the energy out within you. So I felt that. So how does that feel? How does he feel being able to step up for that in your occasion, in your experience?
Well, it creates so much more trust and intimacy and connection and love, right? And as you mentioned, as a woman who knows what she wants, is really driven, goals coming out of every orifice. It is like the hardest thing to do, and like the most necessary. I'm reminded of, so my first baby, I had all my babies at home. And I was having hypnosis for the birth, and I was very adamant it was only going to be at home. Like, I wasn't getting transferred. I wasn't having this baby at hospital, only had to be at home. And my hypnotherapist at the time, she's like, well, that's a problem. Like, that's a problem because, you know, you don't know. You have to be open to all possibilities. You have to surrender the control. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be slapped around and, you know, you're going to be put on your ass. So she helped to hypnotize me to be open to all possibilities, to be okay with going to the hospital, to birthing at home, you know, to all of the different, you know, options, you know, outcomes. And, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why Allegra, our firstborn, she was 4.5 hours active labor and almost a free birth.
Incredible.
I know. I was like, this is because I obviously, as a primary healthcare practitioner, and I have a special interest in birth, I'm like, this is not 12 hours around about, you know, or more. Yeah. And 4.5 hours, almost a free birth, because the midwife got there 15 minutes before she was born. So a testament to
that is great.
Getting the mindset down packed. And obviously I was having, you know, regular adjustments and, you know, all the things. Yeah. Yeah,
that's incredible. Control. That's incredible. What a great first pregnancy, and just having that experience as well, just having that time. That's a gift. I would love to chat to you about, you know, in and amongst for women, like, we are wanting to step into our power more in a more holistic, more blended way, but also being okay with the evolution that, you know, women can make money as well. Women are here to make money. We also want to stay in our feminine. Making money doesn't mean that you're not in your feminine. So I guess it's just rewriting the money stories and manifesting. I'd love to understand your money mindset and your manifestation and how you help women and, you know, just really step into their abundance.
I love this question. And that was my third point as well. So, like, you know, being really financially conscious and financially aware. So, you know, having an intimate relationship with money, becoming friends with money as well, because money is an energy, right? It's neither, I like to use the analogy of money is like a hammer, right? So either the hammer can, you know, whoever's wielding it can use it for good or bad. So you can either, you know, kill someone by bashing their head in, or you can build a house, right? So understanding what your conditioning has been in the past. So what was modeled to you by your parents and caregivers and the people around you, and, you know, in terms of money. And then from that place of awareness and, you know, your relationship with money, we've got a whole section in our, you know, mentoring program for health professionals about rewriting their money story. So writing a letter, essentially apologizing, you know, to money for the way that, you know, you've treated it per se. You know, imagine if money was a friend and, you know, you only like cared about it when it was around and, you know, you talked shit about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
isn't it a fascinating analogy? I love seeing money in that regard too. It's just like, damn, am I a really good friend or not? Like when I really call yourself out on it, you're like, oh, would I want to be treated like that, the way that I treat money, or talk about it or fear it or avoid it or lean into it or, you know, just have a vague, you know, approach to it. All the it's a great way to see it as a person.
Energy. An entity. And like cultivating your relationship with it. So I did a reel not long ago, and it got a lot of traction because we had like a $50,000 tax bill. that we needed to pay. And because we understand our numbers, we knew how much we had to pay, like that was in the bank account, ready to pay like when it was needed. And, when I did click like to pay the ATO, I was like so grateful. Like so grateful to pay that money because I knew that it was doing good in the world. And by having X amount of money to pay in tax, I know that we're really abundant in the business as well. So, getting to that level of gratitude doesn't matter like how little or how much you have, being grateful for it all. And, understanding that, money, it flows to you when you are in service, when you are, helping people. Like the more people that you help, get what they want, the more that you'll receive. Obviously coming from that intention of service and not doing it because you want the money, that's the byproduct. And understanding as well that there are seasons. So when you may be initially starting your business, it's, harvesting, and it might be a bit of a winter. So, there isn't much coming in. However, with full faith and trust. So this is where, I have a foundational belief that the universe is benevolent. So I think that really helps. I fully trust that no matter what happens, it's for my highest iteration. It's for my highest good. And so
I love that.
Understanding that if it's a bit tight when it like fiscally, that, if you do the actions and you are in alignment with your values and your intuition and, you're doing the work and you are serving and helping, it's only a matter of time until like there's going to be that, I guess for lack of a better term, reward of, abundance coming into your world. And so staying in that, that space of trust, that full trust. Yeah. And co-creation.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think for many women, we can get worried, we can get scared if it dips or if it's, looking too far into the future. And it's just like, if you can always come back to on a I guess an esoteric sense, like just staying in that field of consciousness of trust and know that you are supported, also in a practical sense and a logical sense of being okay and assured in your own numbers and in your own data of what's going on, and just coming at it from a real, I guess, as best as you can, like calm and trusting state. And the way that you get there is all the things that you've said just prior. And that's like doing the work, having your practices, making sure that you are giving to yourself, to then you are in that space of, fulfilled and what's the word I'm trying to say? You're in a more state of your cup. Well, your cup is full. And I think the moment you drop the care for self, then these other things can seem a lot more unmanageable, right? And especially your money.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Absolutely. And, we're talking really high level here, like of trust and all of that. And, repairing your story, money story. And at the same time, as you mentioned, you need to have a very clear awareness. Like you need to know how to read your P&L statement. Like you need to know what your customer lifetime value is. Like you need to know exactly what your expenses are every day, every month, so that you have that full awareness. Because if you don't know all of those figures and where your business is at, then how are you supposed to get to where you want to go? So you need to understand these things. And I've had many mentors over the years to learn from, and these mentors have really catapulted the growth of the business at different stages. So that's something that I'm very passionate about. I'm helping other health professionals who have their own practices have sustainable practices where they can actually build a conscious business that is financially very abundant and supportive, and also heart-centered, where they're making the world a better place, and it's sustainable over a long period of time while having babies, while like having successful relationships, right? Because you can have it all. It's about having the right guidance and all of these tools and these practices to support you thrive.
Oh, that was beautiful, and such a beautiful sort of summary on absolutely everything that you've spoken about today. And we could continue just to talk all day, but I just think what you've just said in terms of building a conscious, heart-led and real sustainable and scalable business whilst living in a state of being that is thriving within, you're in beautiful relationships, you are deeply connected to yourself and the people and the loved ones around you, that's available. That's always, that's the purpose and the mission, from what I understand, but behind, the Freedom Academy for you guys, as well as just a mission that you're wanting to leave for the kids and future kids that are coming. And I just think it is all about coming back to yourself, but those things are available to you and you're worthy of having them. And it's just, I think, rewriting the narrative in your mind to think that you have to do it a different way to achieve that, or you can only achieve a certain amount of it. You can actually do it all from a really, really beautiful, aligned and nurtured space.
Absolutely. You don't have to burn out, and you don't have to lie, steal, cheat, like to get there. You can do it in a really like sustainable and nourishing way. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, I could just keep on chatting. I would love to just firstly thank you for your time, and you've given us a lot to just walk away with, in knowing that, if you're running a business, ladies, and you're starting to feel the pinches of burnouts, these are the practices that you can really, really just take home and start to apply tangibly every day on bigger scales, little scales, bite-sized scales, a few times a day, however it fits into whatever works in alignment to you and your current space and being right now, and just let it evolve with you. And that is, I think, coming home, doing the work on yourself, ensuring that you make yourself that priority. You make sure that you've got practices in place and honoring them to really come back to a state of a full cup as much as you can. And then also having, a real conscious relationship with the people around you and business partners and partners and your kids and the people in the team that you support. And the way that you do that is by knowing yourself more. Again, it ties back into caring for yourself and doing the work on yourself and learning your values and understanding who it is that you choose to be every single moment, as well as knowing that money is your birthright. You can have as much of it as you choose. And it's just understanding that you can create a new money blueprint in and around your relationship with money that can foster a really beautiful life, a really beautiful legacy, a really beautiful family, a really beautiful, lifestyle. And it's all available to you. So that is what I've taken from this. And it's from the beautiful, wisdom of Dr. Andy, who has achieved so much. And for the listeners here, I'm grateful that you are offering a special gift. And what might that be?
Definitely this is for all of your listeners, Shell. So if you are in that position, so you have a health or a wellness brick and mortar practice, and you are looking for some guidance, you're wanting to scale a sustainable, very profitable business that supports your lifestyle as well, then we are gifting $500 off the price of joining the Freedom Academy. So this is our signature group mentorship program. This is the only way that you can work with us. So that offer for the $500 off is available for 2 weeks after the release of this podcast episode.
I love that. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Biggest thank you to you, Dr. Andy. I love chatting to you. I love witnessing your journey. I love seeing what you're, achieving and just being in the world. It's just incredible. So thank you for your time. And I just find every time that we can, my soul just opens and it grounds me at the same time. So thank you.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Pleasure. And so if you have found this conversation helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, share it with anyone that you feel like this could be in alignment with and they wanting this ease in their business journey, because these ladies are phenomenal and I would love to hear your journey along the way. So until next time, live it liberated.
Audience exclusive.